Growing up, hockey was my first love, and hockey was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to play my whole life. Um, I remember rushing out of baseball games in the spring, like forcing my dad, who was my coach, like, let's go, dude, we got to hurry up. So I got to make it to hockey game. When I was 11 years old, 10, 11 years old. But honestly, when I came over to top tier, really, and I got to high school, I realized that baseball was what I wanted to do. I just felt that the competitive environment that top tier creates was something that not only did I need at the time, but something that I realized that I thrive in. And even though I didn't really play on the top team, I only played on it twice or three times, 12U, 14U, which was kind of split top teams, and then 17U. But that competitive environment every week, like something that you're thinking about all day, about going to compete at practice, trying to win a spot, just like things like that you just never forget. Just with my dad, honestly, I think like he really taught me how to compete growing up. He started coaching me when I was 5 years old, and all the way through I was 11 before I came here, and he just honestly instilled in me like what it takes to be a competitor and really how to just absolutely despise losing. And I think I still carry that trait with me to this day. Losing is the worst thing on this planet. Shout out the Buckeyes, man, national champs last night. Even though they lost, but they overcame adversity, and that's another thing too, is like when you do fail in this game and when you do lose, like you have to be able to overcome it. And I think that top tier, when you're competing for X amount of weeks, X amount of months in the winter, not knowing what team that you're on, and then you find out what team you're on. And for me, it was a lot of times I found out that I did not make the top team. And it's just like, what am I going to do now? Am I going to pout that I'm not on the top team, or am I just going to go be the guy on the second team and have just as much fun, if not probably more fun, because I'm playing more and the guys are just like all about each other. Yeah, and I think like the perfect example would be my experience at Troy. And I think that experience that I had in that year that I spent down in Troy was completely changed my career for the best. I went down there with absolutely zero failure experience in baseball besides being put on a B team, and then I would go have a great summer. But I never really failed in the game until I got to Troy. And even when I first got down to Troy, like in the fall, I never failed. Even in the preseason, I never failed. It didn't really take until the season for slumps to hit, for failure to set in, for adversity to set in. And I ended up losing my job. I was on the bench. I really didn't know what to do with myself. The teammates that I had down there were just absolutely incredible, and they really like showed me what it meant to be a good teammate, showed me how to be a good teammate. And so when I did lose my spot and I did see those guys that were on the bench go out there and play in my spot, it was just like, I can't not want him to do well. I have to root for this guy because I know he rooted for me when I was in there, and I know what he means to me off the field, and that I have a brother for life. So like, I'm gonna root for this guy. And me having that perspective, I really enjoyed my time at Troy, and I thought like, obviously I would have been out there. I would have liked to have been out there playing, but I really enjoyed my time on the bench. And I have nothing but good things to say about, I think, the culture that they have down there at Troy and the coaches down there too. My college career was such like a roller coaster, and it was just so off from like the rest of my life. So growing up, I played at one park, and then after I was done playing at that park, I came to top tier and played with top tier until I went to college. I went to one grade school and then I went to one high school. So I had consistency in my childhood until I got to college. But things about college, man, I mean, like when I got to Triton, it was in the middle of COVID. Coaches couldn't come out and see me play. So I basically just took a gamble on myself to be like, all right, dude, like you got to put your head down. No one is watching you play here. So being at Triton really taught me like, hey man, like how to work hard, how to work for something that you want. I'd be going to practice in the morning, then I'd be coming home. My brother would come home from high school, and then we'd go to the facility for 4 more hours. So it was nonstop baseball. So that really taught me drive and hard work. Being at Troy taught me how to be like resilient, how to be a good teammate, how to fail. And then being at NIU, I put everything together, and I had some success individually, even though I'd rather have had more team success. I think though, having the individual success, like, just kept me hungry for wanting to win. So now at this next stage of my life, like that's the only goal that I have is to win. Right now, I think just there's so much unexpected stuff going on in my life. Like I know I'm going down to Arizona soon. I know spring training starts March 2nd, but after that, like I don't really know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna try to take everything just day by day, stay in the moment, not really try to get ahead of things, because if you start thinking about the future, then you lose sight of the present moment, and then you could miss an opportunity, or you could give away an opportunity. So I just really got to stay focused, especially with uncertainty, because if you're a senior in college, like you kind of understand what's going on because you had your junior, sophomore, and freshman year, so you kind of know the routine. This is my first year in pro ball. I have no idea what to expect in spring training. I have no idea what to expect during the season. I'm just going to take everything day by day. Yeah, I think just like being in high school and now, like you kind of just have a better grip on life now. So like the uncertainty now, like I understand how it could bring you anxiety, but I also understand how to handle that anxiety. Rather in high school, you can just get so overwhelmed with thoughts that like about unexpected thoughts, like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then you build anxiety, but now like you can build that anxiety with those same thoughts, but now being older, like you understand how to channel that anxiety and how to use it honestly for positive motivation. Because like there's things like in anxiety, like sometimes it's not real. You may think it's real, but even though it's not, like you're stressing about something that like you shouldn't be stressing about. When I first got home in October, I didn't swing for 3 months, and that was something new to me, or not 3 months, 3 weeks, sorry. It was new to me because just being in college, you know, you're constantly swinging, trying to get to pro ball. But then when you get to pro ball, you understand the daily grind, or I mean, I understand the daily grind of what it is at the complex. I still don't even understand the daily grind of a 132 game season, but you have people telling you what it is. So you have people telling you, hey man, shut it down when you get home. Take some time off when you get home. And I never knew that. So that was something that I picked up, something that was new, something that honestly helped me. And because you take 3 weeks off and you kind of like start to feel yourself more when you get back, like, oh, I feel this in my swing. I didn't feel that last time. Because you kind of just have a better understanding because it feels off because you haven't done it in 3 weeks. I also think just like being here, working with the kids at night has helped me a great deal. It's honestly just like made you think about, you kind of remember being in those kids' positions and the coaches, how the coaches treated you and what you liked in a coach. And I think I had a great experience when I was a player here with the catching coaches. So I kind of try to remember what they did and try to give that back to the kids. And hopefully I think that they enjoyed my coaching, but I'll never know. It's cool because you think baseball is just like, it's a game, man. Like there's so many scenarios in the game. You can think about it like just the game of Monopoly. Like it's a game. It's meant to be played in a way that if you're 10, 11, or you're 30, like it's gonna look the same kind of, in a way. But I just think they'll also just, like the game itself, like presents so many opportunities that when you're out here with these kids, you're just sitting back and they're getting overwhelmed because they're missing a ground ball, or they like try to lay out for a ball up the middle and they're like pissed and they throw their glove. It's like, hey man, dude, like when are you gonna get that ball? Like that ball's gonna happen maybe once a year. Why are you worrying about this now? Why not worry about our feet on the one that you rushed last time? Why are you getting stressed out about this spectacular play? And to sit back and like hit these kids' fungos, and I don't know, I had a great experience. It really like slows the game down and makes you just like think about it in a different way. My staff at NIU was incredible. All of them, Cope, Couch, Peacock, and Bannon. I think all four of those dudes, like, I mean, I made a decision to come back for my senior year. I had an opportunity to go pro after my junior year, but I decided to come back and play for those guys. And I think like that just speaks to who they are. You can get all caught into like all the noise with them, like, oh yeah, they're young, whatever, they're fiery, sarcastic, whatever you want to say. But I mean, all they do is produce talent. All they do is compete in baseball games, and all they want to do is get you better as a player. So I could say the NIU staff for sure. And honestly, like the guys with the Angels as well, they've helped me just like realize it's not college anymore. In a way, like, hey man, like it's okay if you have a round of 3 and get out. instead of like, you gotta have around a 6, you gotta have around a 6 here, sit like, it's a lot different. So like helping me transition to pro ball, they've helped me there a lot. And obviously like, I mean, Coach Plant, he's my coach when I was 12 and 17 and still throws me BP to this day. I just can't say enough about him and the way that he like is just the same dude no matter what, no matter the scenario, no matter the day, no matter what's going on in his life. He's the same dude. He's gonna show me the same dude. And then obviously like the lastly but not least is all my family members. I think those 5, along with my girlfriend Alyssa, who's been around for almost 4 years now, they just are my rocks and just like such a great support system for me to go back on, that whenever I'm struggling in life, baseball, whatever it is, like I always have ears that will listen to me, and that means a lot. So just having them off the field and then the coaches on the field. And I mean, my little brother, or not really little, younger brother, he's been a huge help for me just because he's pushed me in ways that he doesn't even like really realize. I mean, seeing your brother out there just be like, man, he's on every single draft board, high on every single draft board, and seeing him, hey man, like this dude's about to be a projected first-round pick, and like seeing the progress that kid's made throughout his life. Like people just like want to hop in the picture now because he's on MLB's Instagram or he's on MLB's Twitter, and like, oh yeah, this is kid. Oh, I know Triton Summerhill, but like to see the progression of that kid from when he was born to where he is now is absolutely incredible. And no one can really understand the progression of him. And like even when he came home, he wasn't home for a long time over break, but in the little time that he was home, it was just like the way that he goes about his business is like, it's really structured, it's really good, it's really consistent. He says some stuff that's out of line sometimes, but we all do. But I mean, I would say my brother's like been an awesome, just like, he's always supportive of me too, but like him as a player, him like doing the things that he's doing, like it has pushed me too. Like, hey man, you've seen your little brother do that, like why can't I do that too? And he knows that. I told him that, and I'm honestly just pumped to like see all that for him put it together for this one last year in college and do everything that he said he's wanted to do. And I'm ready to lock in and watch it and go to war with him. So that's got it.